Let's
So
do it.
for this week, we have decided to listen to and discuss the brand new Blackberry Smoke album, Be Right Here. So Be Right Here is the eighth studio album by American rock band Blackberry Smoke. It was released on February 16th, 2024. So Eric, your thoughts on this album?
So Blackberry Smoke is one of my favorite southern rock bands.
Ever?
Like
Or just
favorite. I
currently?
would love to see these guys live. Love to
Oh,
see them live.
okay.
But I don't think they play much in Canada, which sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go see them in Seattle or something. Because that'll be the closest I can get to. Um, However, this album, I have mixed feelings about this album, and I think that their best stuff is kind of in their middle slash earlier stuff. So, like Whippoorwill is probably the best album that they would come out with, and I believe the next album that is insane is Like an Arrow. Those two albums for me, just like perfect. This one, it's good, but it's not like I wouldn't say it's great. I would say it's easily forgettable, according to their catalog. But these guys are really good at making like all their first songs are really good at just catching you into this loop. They have what I love about this band is that like when the chorus hits, like everybody's singing in the chorus, which
Mhm.
is great. You have like these harmonies that are just so southern rock and it's just so good. And even like the guitar solos kill me with this band because they play these like just non-pentatonic scales that just fit the melody of where the music's going, and it's insane. I felt this album started off good, the middle was kind of weak, and then it ended off actually pretty decent.
Mm.
So, I mean, like it's southern rock, so it's not like you're getting anything like crazy, but this is like on the verge of becoming country, but almost like a jam rock band,
Yes.
which I absolutely love. I love the jam rock bands, right? So I can go on about these bands, but I am very curious to see what you thought of these guys.
Before we get into my opinion, I do have a question.
Mhm.
So when you say this is one of your favorite Southern rock bands, would you put them in your like top five all time, top 10 all time, top 15 all
Yes,
time? Really?
top five for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm sort of surprised by that, just because I when I was putting this whole list together and I saw this is their eighth studio album, I was like, holy shit, this is an old band. I literally thought this was maybe their third album.
Oh, I see.
Like I've never heard of this band prior
Oh, they're
to maybe
so good.
I think 2 years ago you might have mentioned this band, and that was the first time that I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this band exists, and Eric says they're good. I literally thought they were a brand new band.
They've been around for a while. So,
So
eight
like
studio albums.
so on a level of like them versus like I don't know, a Leonard Skinner, do they have that sort of southern rock pull that a Leonard Skinner is a brand name? Blackberry
Yes.
Smoke in that same sentence, like do they have that similar
So th-
legacy?
that's the thing. Like I think that this like not a lot of people know this band, but every
Mm,
time I mention this band who is kind of interested in this genre has always come out saying that this band is sick, right?
mm,
And I think they're definitely lost in the noise of everything else. But these guys are actually really good, talented musicians. Not saying that Leonard Skinner isn't. It's just Leonard Skinner reached that popularity that
yeah.
just kind of just hit them at like Sweet Home Alabama. Like they don't. They have a song kind of like I wouldn't say similar sounding, but similar in famedom, which is One Horse Town,
Mm.
which is one song that they do is which is excellent, which is from one of my favorite albums by these guys, Whippoorwill. But I don't think that they'd ever be at that famedom as Leonard Skinner. But I think that they are definitely, in my opinion, one of like probably top five, like in the top five
Oh
best
wow.
southern rock bands that there is out
Oh,
there.
okay. Interesting. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So I came in listening to this thinking they were a brand new band. And I was thinking, oh, these young kids, they really
These-
got the vibe of Southern rock. Like they
Mhm.
really sound like they're old. So yeah, I guess I was right. They do sound old, because they are old people. Um, when I listened to this, I was like, it was good, but I felt like I've heard this before. That was my
Mhm.
problem with this album for the most part. When I listened to these songs, I was like, oh, that's a cool riff, but it's sort of stuck in that Southern rock, almost country
Mhm.
vibe, almost jam rock, not so much. But like, I kept listening to it thinking maybe there's going to be something new. I was looking for something new that hasn't been done before, but I
Mhm.
ended up just listening to an album that was very good, but it's been done.
Yeah.
So I was a bit disappointed by that because in my mindset, I was like, oh, this is a relatively new band. Maybe they have something new to offer. But maybe that was the wrong approach for me. I should have just realized they're an old band that is just
Mhm.
repeating what they've already done. So
Which is exactly what this album is.
yeah, so I think I just went into it the wrong way, which is my bad.
Mhm.
But that would be my criticism of this album. It is
Mhm.
good, but I've heard all this before. I
Mhm.
need something else. I really like Azalea, even though it's in the middle of the album. Um,
Mhm.
I do agree that the beginning was very strong. The middle was a bit of a letdown, and the end was okay. It was a little bit better,
Mhm.
but I really liked Azalea out of the batch of songs.
Yeah.
Um,
They write a good slow
yes,
song.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's what One Horse Town is, which is probably by far their best one, which I would highly recommend you check out if you've obviously heard these guys before. Um, yeah, I think that now I'm coming from a point where I've listened to their previous albums. So, I mean, it's good, but it's not better than anything else that they've come out with. So I would have to agree with you. It's been done,
Hmm.
right? That being said, they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
But I just find his voice very unique. Just very interesting to listen to, especially when it comes into um the harmonies and stuff like that. It
Mhm.
just blends in so well. Um but yeah, like I would if I was going to recommend this band, I would give you a couple other albums to listen to other than this one. Let's
Right.
just put it that way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. If I needed to recommend someone to Southern rock, like I would have no problem saying this album, in my opinion,
Mhm.
because like obviously there's better stuff, but there's definitely worse stuff than the like. This is a very good representation of what Southern rock is,
Yeah.
what it sounds like. So like, it stays in its lane in its genre. Um, but again, it's just like I've heard this stuff before, so I wasn't particularly interested
Mhm.
in what they were saying. So, but it's good to know that their earlier stuff is much better, or there's better stuff that this band has,
Mhm.
and it just doesn't stay at this sort of level.
These guys are on my bucket list. I will eventually see these guys live, and I will be so happy that I have seen them.
I'm surprised they don't go come to Canada, at least like Calgary or something.
Yeah, you would think, but unfortunately, they don't.
Because I actually looked up their website. They're actually going on tour at the end of the year in Europe,
Oh,
which seems like if you're gonna go Europe, you might as well come to Canada.
mhm. Yeah, it's closer.
Yeah,
Come
it
on.
seems strange. Um, but okay, let's move on to final thoughts and ratings. Eric, what are you gonna give this one?
When I was listening to it at the very beginning, like the first time I listened to this album, I definitely was at a point and like the fourth song, I'm like, this actually might be an 8 out of 10 for me. But sadly, I'm gonna have to give it a 7, a solid 7, and I'm giving it like a +1 bias bonus because I love this band. But I think that there are better stuff to listen to from this band for sure.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm gonna give it slightly higher. I'm giving it a 7.5. 7.5 out of 10 because I think
Ooh.
it is a good album. It is not a very good album.
Mhm,
And it's hard to really criticize an album that sounds this good and is like the
mhm.
songs are good. It's just there isn't that extra sauce, that extra special thing about this that makes it like a great album.
I
So
hear you.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I think if you listen to this and you enjoy Southern rock, I think you'll enjoy this album. It's just there's nothing overly special about it.
What would you say the best Southern rock group is, in your
Oh,
opinion?
the
And you
best?
and I would say you can't choose Leonard Skinner because I feel like Leonard Skinner is just too generic. Everyone's gonna be like
Yeah,
Leonard Skinner.
too iconic, right?
Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan and what's his band? Trouble? Double
Oh,
Trouble?
Double Trouble. I would consider them more blues
Yeah?
than Southern rock,
Okay, yeah, you have to give me some names then, because that's the first one
like
that
the
came to
Allman
mind.
Brothers,
Oh shit. Yeah?
Government Mule,
No, Allman
Government
Brothers.
Mule,
No.
Government Mule would be my
Yeah?
top. Yeah,
I
but
to
the
be
Allman
honest,
Brothers are like a close second.
yeah,
Like
Allman
they're
Brother. I think
freaking.
Allman Brothers would be first. I personally I would put Stevie Ray Vaughan in there, but I get your point that it's more bluesy.
Yeah,
Um, but Allman Brothers I think is number one for me.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. This I'm surprised this is in your top five. That's crazy because this
Blackberry Smoke.
yeah, because to me, this band, and now I've been corrected because it's their eighth studio album, but to me, they're very, now that I know this information, I guess they're more of a cult, like a cult band, right? They're like
They
a
are.
more of indie cult band type of thing.
Absolutely. And check out Whippoorwill if you want to listen to the album, or just check out One Horse Town. It's like an amazing. It's probably their best song, One Horse Town. So
Nice. Okay, perfect. So a 7 for you, 7.5 for me. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. So the album for next week that we are going to be listening to, and I don't know why this made it on the list, but it's going to be funny. Um, hold on. I just realized that the name is wrong. Okay.
it's
So
the gods telling us right there that this is going to be hilarious.
the album that we are going to be listening to and discussing next week is Swing Fever by Rod Stewart with Jules Holland. I don't know why these two got together and decided to do a swing album in 2024, but this is the album that we're going to be listening to and discussing. So we'll be back on Wednesday next week here at twitch.tv/the Crossroads Music Podcast
Man, he
discussing.
hasn't aged well. Hey.
Yeah, Rod Stewart. His girlfriends keep getting younger, but him, I don't know what happened. Um. Anyways, that's the album. Anyways, Chasing Dragonflies, have a good night. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We're here at twitch.tv/the Crossroads Music Podcast. We'll be back here Wednesday at 10 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. PT. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Music, all the places where you get your podcast. The album reviews will be on YouTube eventually, but come yell at us there. I don't think we got any fan mail for the past week, but I didn't really check. But maybe I'll give you an update next week on that. But that is it for the show. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Eric, anything else before we wrap this all up?
Cheers, my friends.
Perfect. All right. Have a good one, everyone.